Right.
Good evening. وعدنا يكون 5 minutes. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Balsam, I would like to welcome you to your second home, LAU. For those who don't know Balsam, Balsam Al Khalil, Balsam is Chief Representative Officer for Bank of Beirut in the UAE and the Gulf. She has a degree in law and a protocol master class degree from Brussels, and studied fashion styling and image consultancy at London College of Fashion and the Finishing Touch Academy in Dubai. She is specialized in every aspect of corporate etiquette and international protocols. For many years, Balsam has supported our alumni chapters in Dubai and Abu Dhabi by securing Bank of Beirut's title sponsorship status for the chapter's annual gala dinners in the two cities, an amount close to $100,000 per year. In addition, she has generously donated during the dinners scholarships in the name of the bank and in her personal name to help needy and deserving students at LAU. Thank you so much, dear Balsam, for being such a good friend to LAU. And tonight, thank you for your time to share with us some of your expertise on business etiquette. Thank you, Balsam. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me well? Test? Test? Okay, thank you. Abdallah, I always get embarrassed after any introduction, especially by you. I'm so pleased to be with you tonight. I'm honored to be associated with LAU. I'm not here tonight in my capacity as Chief Representative Officer of Bank of Beirut, although definitely my corporate experience counts a lot. I'm here as an etiquette and protocol specialist. We're here to talk about business etiquette. And we said the title of the seminar is Business Etiquette for Success. Anybody can tell me what is business etiquette? Please don't look at your notes.
Communication.
Proper manners. Zena?
Communication.
Communication. Mean. Body language. The side. Anybody? This side? Attitude. Amazing. Presentable.
Credibility.
بس please علي ايدكم لحتى اشوف.
Credibility.
Credibility. This side? Impression. First impression. Attire. Okay. You're very good. Okay. Business etiquette is all about that. Although we learn a lot, although we go to schools, we go to colleges, have more than one degree, yet you should know something very important is that the first impression, the first very few seconds, not even the 1 minute, counts a lot. And unfortunately, you don't get the chance to achieve a very good impression afterwards. How? Say I'm the trainer tonight. Usually when I'm training business or protocol, I'm in a very serious suit. I did not choose black. I usually choose black because black is a very serious color. I chose white, which is still serious. I'll tell you why. With black, it's the smart, semi-formal, let's say, dress code. If I'm your trainer tonight, and I'm in my jeans, and I do the habit of most of the Lebanese, because I see lots of Europeans, yet I don't know why we have the habit in Lebanon that the first very drop of water, everybody is putting their trousers inside the boots. Would you take me seriously as a trainer? If I'm not taking my job very seriously, then you will not see me as a serious person. Don't you agree? So the first impression is you step in this hall, you look at Balsam Al Khalil, you see a person who's taking her job very seriously, she's dressed up to the occasion, and she's here to do business. She wants to make sure that this seminar is a success. And this is what you should do after you graduate, in whatever job you're doing, in whatever, anything you are doing. You have to make sure that you have to achieve an excellent first impression. As I told you, we do study a lot. We, as Abdullah mentioned, I have lots of degrees, yet if I fail one time in the way I behave, in the way I talk, in the way I dress up for that particular occasion, then they will not receive me very well, or they will not take me very seriously. Say I'm on the TV, and I'm always on TV, and it's an Arabic channel, and I go wearing something which is a cocktail dress. What do you think the audience will think of me? Exactly. So you have to respect the people, respect yourself first, and respect your audience. Everybody has an audience. If you are a teacher, your students are the audience. If you are in the sales job, the customer is your audience. If you are a teacher, your students are the audience. So be respectful, dress for the job, behave properly, show as you should for that particular occasion, and 100% sure that you will achieve what you want to achieve successfully. There's a saying in Arabic which says, عامل الناس كما تريدون أن يعاملوكم. Treat people as you like to be treated. Nobody likes to be treated in a not a nice way. I don't want to use another word, right? So we better be nice, we better be mannered, and we better behave in a way that is professional, because here we're not talking about social etiquette. Social etiquette is part of business etiquette. Whether we like it or not, even if we're doing business, social etiquette plays a very important role. The way you eat, the way you sit, the way you talk, the way you behave, the way you dress up. So if we said that the first impression is very important, then we have to make sure that the first very few seconds, people receiving us on the other hand, on the other side, whoever you're meeting should receive us in a very positive and professional way. If you are doing business, if you are a manager in a bank, you have to make sure that you are best up for the job. Now, as students, I know that you have a relaxed dress code. As teachers, I'm not sure how relaxed you can be in LAU, yet we have different types of dressing up. The most important thing is to dress up for whatever we are doing, whether it's in the morning, whether it's later, whether you have cocktails, whether you have seminars. As soon as somebody enters, as etiquette and protocol specialists, we're called having eye for details. We immediately scan people, and we are able to tell if there's a difference between a person or another. The difference is in the way they talk, the way they walk, the way they dress up, and the way they sit. Yesterday, I was at a panel. I was in a workshop in Dubai called #YourPotential. After speaking in the morning, we were in a panel. We were 5 panelists, 4 ladies and 1 gentleman. I was the only person who was sitting straight. The four of them, imagine this is the panel. You have people just looking at you, and you have shoes in front of you. I was the only person who was sitting straight, although it was for 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I have a very bad disc. I stayed for 2 hours, 15 minutes in the same position. Why? Because I respect myself and I respect my audience. And when we were talking about manners, we mentioned sitting posture as one of them. And what was the reaction? The speakers who are expertise in their own field felt very shy, and I was seeing legs coming down. And by end of the seminar workshop, people were coming to me and saying, thank you for bringing this up. And these people, the audience, are expertise in their field, which is completely different than etiquette, has no connection to etiquette. They came to me, and one lady said, we understood that she's wearing a louboutin, but I didn't want to see the louboutin. It was just in my face. So even the gentleman was wearing, for example, socks which were colored. Media people, sometimes we excuse them. Saad knows that they are excused because when they are in the creative world, we say it's fine because they're creative minds. This doesn't mean that we don't respect the occasion, we don't respect the audience. So part of being in a panel was to sit properly, to talk properly. And another example is that one of the panelists was speaking to her neighbor panelist. She hasn't seen her in 2 weeks, and while other panelists were speaking, she was conversating with her. And I could see by end of the workshop that people were coming to me, and they were not talking to them. They did not even care to take their business card. Why? Behavior, manners, the way they sit, the way they behaved on the panel, the way they respected their audience or not. This is what you should think of. So assumingly, we are students, you are allowed to be very casual, and you can dress up as whatever you want to wear, you can do that, but you have to be conservative. So if it is summertime, even if you are students, even if LAU allows you to wear whatever you want, yet I don't think they're allowed to wear shorts, for example, to classes. So Dana, if you may.
They are. They are allowed.
We are.
They are.
You are?
Of course.
Americans.
Yes.
Casual wear, this is for a student, this is for a weekend look, this is for something which is after working hours, this is something you can do in your free time. But say if Dana is a banker, please. Thank you, Dana. She has to look more serious. Maya, chose black. We count on colors to convey messages. Yesterday in a panel which was 95% ladies, usually when I'm giving social etiquette, I tend to go into feminine colors, pinkish, pastel colors. Yesterday I was wearing black and a red jacket. Why? Because I wanted to stand out in that particular workshop. And I did. I posted on my Instagram and I said, I'm the one wearing red in the middle. And they said, you don't have to tell us you were. We could tell that this is you. Even in the panel itself, I was standing out because I was wearing a color which has a strong presence. Maya is wearing black to the office, and because she's a banker, she's not wearing the boots Dana is wearing to LAU. She's wearing a proper shoes. So, anybody wearing a dress, black dress? I saw somebody coming. Black dress, formal wear. Rada, we wanted an approval before we started. Please stand up. قابل عنا لهون لو سمحت. So if you are a banker, if you work for the government, semi-government, you want to be taken seriously. If you work for the United Nations, NGOs, Ms. Saad, please stand up. Ms. Saad works for the United Nations. She has a jacket, of course, on top of this blouse. It's too hot to keep it yet. You have different types of wear. All professional. As you can see, although it's, of course, winter, we tend to go into darker shades, yet you can see different shades of, different types of wear, which send a very strong message. We are serious. We are here to do business. We came to the seminar, which is business, and we are giving you a business look.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
But this cordon you cannot wear, right?
Yes, actually, if it's business, زي طيب. بس نحن عم نحكي عن الدرس اللي. The thing is, you will graduate, as Mr. Saad, Mr. Abdullah know very well. Part of being successful is basically attending lots of meetings, lots of seminars, lots of galas, fundraising, and you have to be up to it. How to be up to it? Before anything else, you have to know the rules. Before I talk about how you should answer your phone calls, how your mobile should be on silent when you are at the seminar today, how when you are sending an email, you should not keep it capital letters as if you are shouting out of the email, how you cannot be very friendly when you're meeting somebody for the first time and say, hi, so-and-so, instead of dear Mr. So-and-so. It is very important when you graduate or already you are in the corporate world to know one thing. Dining is very important. Most of the mistakes happen at a dining table. And most of the great deals take place at dining tables. You can conduct a meeting over breakfast. You can conduct a meeting over lunch, and you attend galas, cocktails, receptions. What does that mean? If your client is up to waking up early, if his schedule is very busy, you can suggest a breakfast meeting. Instead of being formal and going to his office in the morning, you can ask him if he would like to have coffee somewhere. Most likely, the atmosphere is more friendly, and you can conduct business in a very easy way. Lunches. How many business lunches, Saad, Mr. Abdullah? Sorry, I'm not suggesting other names because I don't know the names of everybody, but I'm not sure who's working, who's not working. Yet, in general, we conduct business over lunches. We do several mistakes. We will move to the proper way of dining and putting things together when you get lost with so many knives and forks and glasses and which is the bread. Will come to that. But before that, people do the mistake and they go for a fine dining, for example, inviting a client to impress them. And then you get the appetizer, you get the main course, and you get a cake, you get your coffee, and the conversation of business is not done yet. What happens? The client is tired already. It's time to go home or back to office, and you will not be able to achieve a lot. When is the best time to talk to your client? After the appetizer. One suggestion, if you are conducting a meeting, whether it's lunch or dinner, usually dinners, we take the client to dinners if the culture of the client permits dinner style, or the culture of the client permits alcohol environments. However, it is always recommended not to serve alcohol unless you're 100% sure that the client is okay with that. The biggest mistake we do is that we try to be very friendly and we invite the client to dinners, and then would you like white or red? And then what happens? The client gets shocked because he doesn't drink, for example. So you did not do your homework properly, and of course you will not get the deal. So make your homework very well, make sure that the client is okay with that, and then invite. You attend lots of galas, cocktails. Some cocktails are quick ones, some take time, some are dinner parties. It depends. What is the occasion? What is the time? Anytime you get an invitation, whether it's a gala, whether it's a formal white tie, black tie, we don't have lots of white tie in this part of the world, we have black tie, it means very formal. So before doing anything, before going to that particular event, you have to make sure that you ask for the details. Is it outside, indoors, outdoors, from what time to what time? As much as we have invitations, the earliest invitations we get, the less formal it is. After 7 to 9 is a cocktail reception. There is the pass around and there's the buffet. How to behave in the buffet. My recommendation, if you want to show a professional and definitely achieve an impressive first impression, don't go hungry. We've seen lots of staff who are stuck to the buffet and the way they were received was really bad. The best thing you can do is have a quick bite and go to these receptions to make sure that people don't see you staying next to the buffet all the time. You need to do business. You are here not to entertain yourself. You're not on a social event. You're not attending a wedding of your friend, and you're not here to socialize. You are here to achieve an impressive first impression and to make sure that this impression lasts forever. You want people to receive you as professional, you better behave as such. Mind your manners is the tip. Okay? So if you are in a gala, and of course we will be having the fundraising for LAU Abu Dhabi on the 1st of March, so looking forward for that, and on the 2nd of March. We get very nice decoration, flowers, candles, cutlery, dishes, glasses, etc. You look at the table, it's your first time at such a gala. What happens? Sometimes we get lost. And sometimes we commit mistakes, not because we want to, but because we don't know. It is okay not to know, but it is not okay to know and commit mistakes. That's the big difference. That's the difference between a person and another. If you want to make sure that you are a professional, successful person in the corporate world, you better master, not only know, master your dining skills. Believe me, people notice. And I can tell if a kid of 6 to 8 years old is mannered and another is not even told by his mom or father, sit straight, mind your posture, mind your elbows, etc. We'll talk about the dining details. When you are at a dining table, you have lots of things. When we are studying etiquette and protocol and we have to deal with different cuisines and different parts of the world and different cultures, you know, sometimes they serve you a simple meal, which is a soup and the main course. Sometimes you have a very sophisticated meal, which is soup, salad, sorbet, main course, dessert, coffee, sweets, chocolate, whatever. How to handle the situation. We created something. I'm proud that we reached a place which is easy for people who don't really go to have a degree in etiquette, people who are there in the corporate world and they want to be successful. BMW, who doesn't like BMWs? My first car for 15 years, and we moved to Mercedes when we got older, but BMW. 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 Can anybody tell me what is BMW?
Irish Motorenwerke, German. It means Bavarian Motor Works.
Brad, Sorry, bread, meal or mouchoir, and then the drink.
Perfect. So where are the location of each?
Left, mid, and right.
Okay. So BMW is the car. BMW. So you are in a gala, very sophisticated gala, lots of dishes. Forget about the dishes for the time being. You have to make sure that you know which is your bread and which is your drink. Most of the time, I don't want to say 90%, most of the time when I am in official gatherings, somebody eats my bread and somebody touches my drink if he doesn't drink it. And you will be surprised, CEOs and above level. This is your plate. Anything above is the way things move. And the last will be your main course. On your left side, which is the B, is for bread, M for the meal, and W, B and W. So it stays with water as a W, yet also here you might see a sophisticated up to 5 glasses, which they cannot be kept at the same time. Yet you are allowed up to 5 glasses to keep on the same table. So you get confused, which is for water, which is for wine, which is for juice. Anybody?
Glass type? The glass type, the form of the glass.
Glass is always on the outside, and the drink is closer to you. And the glasses vary. Say if we are in a sophisticated meal, which includes fish, meat, pasta, whatever, and as you know, we serve wine depending on the kind of food we're eating, white for fish and red for meat. So it depends. You will see the difference in glasses in the size. The smaller the size, we start with the smaller, which is white. It gets bigger when it's wine, red wine. Water either will be a completely different glass, or you can see it as a rectangular shape. So the easiest way to remember is your bread is on your left side. So if you commit your mistake and eat the bread of Balsam, which is, Balsam is sitting here, and this is the plate of bread for Balsam, then the whole row on the table might commit the same mistake because, well, it's not for me anymore. Even ladies put lipstick, and sometimes even if you see lipstick, you might get confused whether this is yours or not, because you tend to move your glass from a place to another. So this goes on the right side. Supposedly on the right side is the glass of the person there, and it's your glass, so it gets mixed up. So the golden rule is, when dining, you better monitor what's on your table, depending on the cutlery, depending on the plates, depending on the glasses. You will know before reading the menu what to expect. And the best formula is to always remember BMW. So you eat your bread on your left side, your plates will be in the middle, the water and the glasses on the right side. And the cutlery, the things you use, spoons, knife, forks, etc. The golden rule is to start from outside to inside. How many people take the closest to their plate and start? The smaller the knife means appetizer. The bigger the knife, it means going to the main course. So when you are dining, you want to achieve an excellent impression that you know what you're doing. You are professional. You are up to the standard. You are an international person. Now, I've been in Dubai since 1993. Maybe Saad moved to Dubai before me. The difference between us and other people, that we are exposed to other cultures. It doesn't mean that we know much. It doesn't mean that we know more than you do. Yet, we are exposed. We did not know everything, but we learned along the way. And I know that there's lots of diplomats, especially Lebanese diplomats, who knew nothing when they joined the diplomacy world, when This is something you would like to know. You can be a counselor by exams. You have a process, you do exams, interviews, oral exam, written exam, and then they choose you. I've done this in '92. But when they choose you as an ambassador, you don't have to be one of the counselors. As a counselor, you start as the attaché, counselor, general, and then ambassador. So you have the promotion process, which unfortunately in Lebanon can take over 20 years, and by the time you're due to be an ambassador, time to go home, retirement. You hardly serve at the last post and then you go home. So, if you want to really make sure that you are up to the international standard when you are meeting people from you are here in Beirut now. The lady just told me that she's going to Dubai, so you might be seeing nationalities, different nationalities. Sami lives in Abu Dhabi, Saad between Dubai and Beirut, Mr. Abdullah all over the world. So how many nationalities you meet, how many people from different backgrounds. What is the difference between Mr. Abdullah and somebody else is that he knows his homework, he knows how to behave. When he is in a gala, he knows that he has to achieve a successful dining experience. So when people look, they know how you're behaving, then they will say, he knows what he's doing. But when people see you jumping to the red basket on top of the candle or the flowers, which is in the middle, then say, from where this guy is coming from. Believe me, you might laugh, especially guys. You might think that it's a trivial thing. It's not. It's not. Behaving, mannering, minding your manners is very important in different aspects. One of the most important things in galas is what happens is that most of us, if we know each other, we stick to each other. In buffets, in receptions, in events, we know 2-3 people, we tend to stay with them, and we don't greet, we don't talk, we don't open conversations, we don't know what they do. Some of you step in, hi, I'm so-and-so, I do this, nice to have you here, they gave me their business card. Some said hello, some did not say anything, some people smiled, so people differ. So the difference between one and another, the successful guy steps in, salutes you, so we have to say hello, we say good evening, and you introduce yourself. Don't stick to the same crowd. This is the mistake we always do. We do it as women. We go to fashion shows, and then instead of meeting interesting people, especially in whatever I'm doing, I meet interesting people every day. So if I stick to XYZ of my friends, I will meet nobody new. And I will keep on doing the same thing again and again. Say hello, introduce, exchange business cards. Guys who are working already, never leave your home, your office, anywhere. Ladies, you change bags depending on what you're wearing. Don't you ever forget your business cards. Business cards is like your identity. If you exchange business cards, you might get something which you worked so hard to get. The way people think that if you give them the way we present the business card, which is very important. Believe me, to a Japanese, if he says, Mr. So-and-so, and he gives you the business card, and you take his business card, nice to meet you, and you put it here, your deal is done. Done negatively, not done at all, I mean. The Japanese even take you for dinner. Not only that, they make sure that you don't get drunk. They look at the way you treat the waiter. If you are not mannered properly, if you don't behave properly, if you don't speak to the waiter properly, if you don't know what to tip, they will think that you're not the right person to do business with. So these are part of business etiquette. Business etiquette means you have to sit well, mind your posture, behave properly, say the right thing at the right time, and don't say the thing which you're not supposed to say. How many times you meet people say, you haven't seen her in quite some time, hi, how are you? Oh, you gained weight. And how many times you meet people, you forget their names. But instead of forgetting their names, you just say, hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Even sometimes I meet people which I forget not only the names, what they do, because I meet lots of people. So I try to be nice, I smile. With a smile, you can achieve so many things. Smile, be courteous, try to move the conversation to a stage where it leads you to what they do and what is their name. Or, I've changed my contacts, or I am updating my contacts. I'm so sorry, my secretary, I changed my secretary, for example. Can I have your business card, please? And with pleasure, without knowing that you don't even remember how many times it happens with us, you take the business card, you treat it with respect. Instead of showing them you did not remember the name, you just tell them, I like your business card. Who's the agency? Saad will like that. And then you put your card in a proper way. Putting the cards in your pocket, in your trousers, anywhere is not respectful. There is, I can recommend that you can have a small pouch which has two sides. Side which is your business cards, and the other side is the place where you keep the business cards of others, because how many times you want to reach somebody, it happens with you, right? Like people give you business cards, you exchange bags, and then you cannot find the business card. I keep them in a separate place, and I go back to my office and I update my contacts. So just in case I lose the card, I will not lose the contact of the person. So anything you do has to be professional. Anything you want to achieve, you better know in advance that you have to be professional. If you want to be considered as successful, you have to work for it. Success doesn't come that easy at all. We've been in the corporate world for so long. The difference between us and others is the way we do business, the way we talk to people, the way we even entertain people. So many people think that if they entertain you, means take you or invite you to their events, it means you are their friend. No. He is still a client. There's a big difference between a client and a friend. With a friend, I can be myself, I can relax, I can do whatever I want. With client, I have to monitor what I do, what I say, and not to say what I should not say. Any questions? I'll stop here. Any questions so far? Further.
There is something called international etiquette, right?
Absolutely.
Talking with different people from different cultures. Yes. Then you use the same way of dealing with others, but you add to their culture.
Business etiquette is a standard word for the corporate world. Protocol is something else, which is etiquette is a set of rules, and etiquette has evolved, and it changes depending on the culture of the place. The culture in Lebanon is even different, Tamara. Culture in Jordan. I gave a seminar a couple of months back. The way I do my seminars in Beirut is not the same way I do my seminars in Jordan. I'm not saying Australia. The way I talk to Americans is not the same way I talk to British people. So this is the thing which you have to do when you are visiting or you are about to meet people from different cultures. Zaina raised this subject before we started about how do we know about these cultures.
Usually I ask the question, so what
You
about
ask questions and Google answers everything.
No, I ask the person, so what about you? What do you do when you...
I asked the person if I'm in a conference or something. So, what do you do in Jordan, for example, when you...
This is limited information.
Yeah.
What you can do is that, say I'm going to Jordan for the first time. Okay? First of all, I will Google Jordan. Know whether I should eat mansaf, jamid. Can I eat it using a fork and knife and using all the cutlery, or I should eat it as they do? In my book, I have talked about etiquette in Lebanon, Jordan, Gulf region, etc. In my Arabic book, Etiquette for All Seasons, I have 10 copies, and you can learn about few cultures. Yet, you have to do your homework before reaching this person. Why? We go back to the first impression. You have to impress this person. So, assumingly, we went to Jordan, and I had the social etiquette seminar. First thing I did is I was so conservative, of course. Of course, as a business, you have to be very conservative. While if it is a social etiquette, you can dress up, you can dress a dress. In Beirut, I gave social etiquette, wearing a dress and the nice shoes. In Jordan, I was wearing something similar to this. Why? Because the environment is very strict, very conservative. I have to respect them. When we are drawing the chart of dining etiquette, I will never mention that you have water and wine. I will say water and juice. So that's the difference. And same applies when you are dealing with Japanese. So you have to know that Japanese don't talk a lot, yet what they say indicates the outcome of the meeting. So if they don't really talk a lot, that's fine. That's their culture. So if you Google, I'm going to Japan, this part of Japan, culture in Japan, traditions in Japan, etiquette in Japan, traditions in Japan, you will get everything. Now with, thanks to Mr. Google, we have everything there. So it's not very difficult. And even on LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a very professional channel of putting your business info. It's okay when you are to meet. It is okay when you are to meet. When you check somebody on LinkedIn, I get lots of requests during the day. I get lots of requests every day. It doesn't mean that I have to add everybody. I get a request, Dana sends me a request, I go to Dana's profile, I like her profile, I press accept. And this is the way you do business. That's fine if you check her profile. But if you, every couple of days, check the profile of Dana, then Dana will say, why is this person checking on me? So you have to know what to do when. And same applies in business, same applies in the social world. So you can check things. And sometimes it's better not to ask too many questions, to do our homework. So when you meet this person, you achieve an impressive impression. Say if somebody stepped in and he said, nice meeting you, Balsam, I've heard about you. Actually, I have your book. So he knows that I have a book or 2 books. So sometimes it leaves a very positive impact on you before even starting any meeting. Questions? Okay.
Thank you for the session first. Second, I'd like to ask about something related to the first impression, which is handshaking.
Handshake.
Yes, some of the people do not handshake, but not everyone knows that.
Yes.
How do you prevent handshaking in case that occurs?
We live in the Gulf region, and we know that so many ladies like you don't handshake, and so many guys don't even do that. So the best thing is when this is part of your culture, which people are not sure about, to teach them. So I'm going to meet the lady here, I'm a guy, and she does this, right? So if somebody is coming to my office, the first moment, instead of embarrassing myself, I'll just wait. He's a UAE national. He steps in. I look at his facial expression, the way, whether he extended his hand or not, and then he does this. Say, Salam alaikum, wa alaikum salam. So I understand that he doesn't shake hands. So I won't embarrass myself and extend it. And the same applies on you. So if you don't extend hands, you better educate them that you don't. And especially when the other person is from another nationality who's not absolutely aware of your own beliefs and culture. Okay? Question?
It might be a little irrelevant where we're talking about.
That's not.
When you were talking about the panel discussion.
Yes.
When you were talking about the panel you had, and first you talked about one man who was wearing colored socks, but then you said that you yourself were wearing a red jacket. So how is it fine to wear a colored jacket but not colored socks if you're a man?
When you are doing business, when you want to be received well, you should not be very funky. You should not be very creative. You should not be doing whatever you like to do. You want people to think that you are professional and up to the job. In the world of colors, when we study fashion etiquette, and I'm a certified stylist also by London College of Fashion, we talk about color codes. I had an interview on NBC right 2 weeks right before Hillary Clinton's election. And they wanted to analyze the dress code of Hillary Clinton and, of course, Trump. And then, and it is on my website, etiquettewithbalsam.com, you can click on NBC, that particular interview, and you will hear what I said. At one point, Clinton was wearing fancy pink, green, when she was the wife of the president. And she was received, and we looked at her as the first lady. When she went to the election stage, she wanted to imitate German Merkel and to send a message that no nonsense, I'm not a lady, I'm a president. I'm a president to be. But she made a very big mistake by choosing the wrong colors. Choosing the wrong colors means when she was to talk to Trump, and that was at the later stage, she chose white, for example, white outfit all the way through. And have you ever seen Trump in jeans? No. Have you ever seen Trump in other than red or blue tie? No. Why? Because the color plays a very important role in the image you want people to receive you. So she was wearing the wrong colors. White is peaceful, nice, you know, pure, good for yoga people. And the second time she was wearing green, while this guy was wearing his red tie all the way through, and sometimes going for blue when it is more casual. Red is a powerful message that I'm standing out. So yesterday I was wearing black, and I wanted to make sure, because I'm at a panel of ladies and one gentleman, that I'm not here to be, because it was about social media, and they come from the creative world, as they call it. I was talking about the etiquette and the proper manners of behaving then. So I wanted my message to be heard and seen, because what you see is what you feel and what you receive. So the red was the red color of power, and the black was the serious part of the whole image. Okay? Now, when it comes to color, when you are, of course, in the very corporate world, as we said, banking, government, semi-government, you better always, guys, ladies, stick to dark colors. Of course, in summer, we relax more and we add colors, but you have to stand up, Mr. Saad. Mr. Saad is in the president's office, and this is a very professional way of dressing up. He added a dash of purple, but yet it's not a flashy color, so he's still in the corporate image. Monsieur? This is the very strict way of, thank you, Saad, which is black, charcoal, navy. It looks charcoal. But your shirt is white. and your tie is gray. طيب بس على charcoal again. So we are seeing a serious gentleman who's just coming maybe from office, right? So if I meet this gentleman, thank you very much, he's waiting for Balsam to come. He's there to conduct business. I'll say he's wearing something appropriate for his job. Say if you are in fashion, I'm looking. Sorry? We can guess it from the look. The fashion people tend to mix more than two colors. Okay? Further.
At the end of the day, you find people wearing suits, working for people wearing jeans.
That's fine. But I'll tell you one thing, Saad, we were at the Global Action Forum, Arab Global Action Forum. King Abdullah was there. Clinton, King Abdullah, تبع البحرين بتصور. I think so. So, not Hamad, the son. The Countess of Bahrain, King Abdullah of Jordan, Clinton, and we had few very important people. They said it's an afternoon. They said it's a smart casual. And here I just want to remind you of one thing. Even if you want to be casual, please be smart casual. But especially for ladies, you never know whom you might meet along the way. I meet lots of my clients in the supermarket when it's a Saturday. So jogging suit is for the gym, shorts is for the beach. Be careful what you wear. At that time they said, sorry? You say hi and you just move, but don't entertain
Sorry,
conversation.
what I wanted to say is that the word is changing.
Yeah, the word is changing, yet it depends on the image you want to convey. What I wanted to answer you, and I forgot that particular point, that's why I was pointing it out, that one CEO, he's the president of a bank, Lebanese bank, he understood the message that it's a casual affair. So all of us, we knew that Clinton will be there. We knew that Crown Prince of Bahrain and the Queen Rania was not there. Prince Faisal, I mean so many dignitaries. We were wearing as we were wearing now, me, Saad, and other friends. And the guy came wearing his jeans and his polo t-shirt. And for a second, they asked a question and he was asked to go to the stage. Would you believe the comments he received afterwards? No, they said it's a relaxed. Yet, I like to be taken seriously more than taken that I'm a person who's not serious about what I do. So he was asked to say something. He went to the stage and everybody was like, "Shule beside that."
Yeah, but that guy who went to the stage, he could be holding 7 PhDs and wearing jeans.
Doesn't matter, but it depends what you do. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Marks of Facebook, the Silicon Valley, they do business in a different way than we do. They don't even have ties in their wardrobe. But if I am a banker and wearing shorts, for example, I don't think that you will bank with me. If you are working for the president's office and wearing a pink shirt, I don't think people will like what they see. This is the thing. It depends what you do. The golden rule is as much as you can look professional, the more success you will achieve. And we know it, we face it every day, and it happens with us every day. One more question?
Depends on the culture, right? Where you are.
Culture, this is what I was saying. Like if you're working for Google, Silicon Valley, Amazon, whatever, you don't meet clients actually. You are faced with your people, your team, and they're even allowed to go to the gym. They encourage them to go to the gym because they stay long hours. So this is a completely different environment. If now I'm in the etiquette world, I have to dress to the occasion, up to that particular occasion. If I'm in the corporate world, I have to look as a banker. But if I go to a fashion show, I will be a little bit more fancy, right? And we do galas. It depends how the upgrade of the gala is. We wear long dresses, a bit of revealing, yet it has to have a certain limits, which is not too revealing. Okay? Please.
I'm sorry, you said it depends on the culture. And sometimes you might say wine, if you have wine on the right, and sometimes you might say you have juice, depending on the culture. But when you explain for us, you just said wine, but you have different...
No, I said juice once. I said water, wine, I said up to 5. So it depends. This is the more sophisticated because we're talking about international standards. I'm talking even if you as a conservative lady, you go to America, for example, or even you go to Dubai and you are to attend the LEU. In Abu Dhabi, we get the most sophisticated menu, for example, and you have so many glasses. It's you who will tell the waiter discreetly that, can you remove because I don't drink. So what we'd like to drink, he will get you a glass, which is a square one, and that's it. You dictate, but you do it in a way which is respectful, again, because we see so many people. Because the gala of LEU, for example, is for everybody, from different cultures, from different nationalities. People are here to support, to fundraise. It's not the place to make a scene that you don't drink, and people will expect you that because you don't drink, they will not put it. This is the international standard, but you just tell them. The same applies when you don't eat meat and you are a vegetarian. You go discreetly and you check the menu, you find there's beef, and you check the menu and you tell them, do you have a vegetarian option? And of course you will get a vegetarian option.
For example, the client is a smoker person, as well, might hurt you, the second smoker.
Usually in the first meetings, we don't dictate our likes or dislikes. But what you can do to solve the problem, if you're 100% sure that he's a chain smoker, to have the meeting outdoors. So let him smoke as much as he wants.
So, but you are talking about how to dress for the client. Okay, what about, for example, you'll have your own style.
Yes.
Let's say that you have a certain style that is you.
Yes.
Okay, how can you get out of yourself to go to meet a client? Maybe the client will like you the way you are. Okay, it doesn't have to be the way he wants. Maybe he will like you the way you are. And by this, you will be yourself and he will be okay with this.
I'm with you. We don't dress up for the client. We dress up for the job. For the job we do. Can you step in, please? Why do you have this? Because this is your style. This is your statement. I like things which are not very simple. Why are you putting the trousers in the boots? Because you like this style. I like this style, but I will not go to my office wearing this. I will do it in my weekend, for example. But if I want to make sure that I'm going to meet somebody who will give me $2 million, I will have to make sure that I'm wearing red or black. And then, sorry? Okay, so you add your touch of style according to your likes, but in the way it should be, يعني في إلى limits. بنمشي في guidelines تبعوا limits. Accordingly, you adjust. You want to put a brooch, you want to put a scarf. I did not put a scarf. Usually, when we are in the etiquette world, we know that we are very conservative looking. Even a long time back in the corporate world, I introduced dresses. But dresses in the corporate world means that your body has to be covered 90% all the time. So the dress has to be long, and the sleeves have at least to be exact. So you introduce your own style, but you have to keep the standard of the job, not the likes of the client. Thank you. The clients بحبوا يروحوا عند المزلطين. Yeah.
You talked about stepping into an event and sticking to 2 or 3 persons that you know.
Yes.
But what happens when you don't know anyone? How to act naturally and give a good first impression?
لا أنت تعالي أنت واقفة already, right? So I'm coming to a fashion show or it's a reception. So I step in, I look, I don't know anybody. Hi, Balsam Al Khalil. Same here. تعرفي فلان أو فلان مثلا إنه who invited you من هالside, especially in weddings. How many times that she is your friend, you know her, you don't even know her.
So you stick to one person?
No, you start with a person. So you start a conversation which we call, and it is in your notes. By the way, we did not say everything, we did not talk about everything because we only have 1 hour and a half. Yet I mentioned that. Small talk. In Britain, they are known that they are boring, are labeled as boring. They're not. They know the rules. Small talk. Nice weather today. So in the wedding, hi كيفك أنا بس أنا whatever, and then you go معزومة من العريس or العروس. So you start a conversation. Same applies if you are in a reception, which is business. Hi, nice to meet you. I work for XYZ company. Exactly. If he's a nice guy and you know everything is going well, you continue a little bit. If you see a potential, then excuse me, I know this guy that, for example, حدا كبير أو I've been chasing this guy for some time. So like, excuse me, مش Monsieur فلان? And he says yes. أنا فلانة, I came to visit you 6 months back, and you break the ice and you start the conversation. Thank you.
Hi. With respect to dietary restriction, would you advise to, for instance, when you get the invitation, email them or contacting them, informing them that you have a certain dietary restriction before attending?
If it is a big event, we don't. If it is at a house, we do. You have two things. Either you have لا سمح الله مرض يعني, you have diabetes, whatever, or the second option is that you are on a diet. How many women, مني وجر, everybody is almost always on diet.
I mean like allergies.
Allergies, yeah. So even, I'm talking about 2 options since we raised the subject. You call the host, you call the host in advance. Ilya, thank you so much for the invitation. But Anna, I'm just advising you, not be left cake, you know, that kind of way of saying things. That I'm on a very strict diet. I'm allowed to eat veg and meat. But I prefer is that until you're not cooking, for example, that cuisine for the night. If you can excuse me, I will see you in 2 weeks' time. Then she said, no, of course not. I will have a steak for you, whatever. Or peanuts. How many people have allergies for peanuts? More, they need oxygen, etc. So that if I may ask, what is the cuisine? Because I have a certain allergy, just to make sure that I don't eat that particular. If you know them well. But when you are in a big reception, of course, you don't inform anybody, but you have to make sure that you choose the right thing. So if you are suspicious, even for 1%, don't touch that plate. Okay? And so my suggestion for ladies, if you are on a diet, don't go there and just start the drama that I'm dieting and I'm not allowed whatever. You can have as much as you want in salads, and you can have as much as you want water, putting a small piece of lemon, looking like you're drinking 7-Up, Perrier, or anything else if you're not able to drink anything else. So the water will look like a juice, and they will see a plate full of food. So they will not tell you, ما أكلت ورق عنب or ما أكلت steak, you're sticking for this. They see a full plate, and you can have as much as you want as veg or salads. Okay? Yes, Dan. Thank you. Questions?
I have a question about, personally, I look at the shoes here.
Yes.
كفirst impression I always look at the shoes يعني حتى لاحظت most of you guys what you're wearing no shoes when most of the people when they come in I look at the shoes as first impression why I have it my friends also
Everybody has it. And as I said yesterday at the workshop, that the first thing they noticed, and I had to rush to the airport. I needed to go home, change, and rush to the airport, and I was about to miss my flight because I stayed to the very end of the workshop. But people wanted to talk to me, I could not stop them. I had 6 participants talking about the shoes in front of them. They noticed what is the kind of shoe, whether it was pointed, whether the socks even. Say the guys, if you are in the corporate world, what you need to wear is basically black. So if I see Saad, for example, in an orange socks, I will say, what's wrong with Saad today? Okay? And this is the excuse media people give to themselves, which is not really received positively. Now people are moving, as you saw in the past 2 to 3 years, even the fashion houses as big as Chanel are moving to more simple stuff and having tennis shoes, right? So people are into less makeup, less sophisticated things because people want more simplicity. So, and comfort, of course. So even now we have the Paris Fashion Week, and people move from a fashion show to another. They're not in high heels and pointed, shoes. They are in tennis shoes. So shoes is very important because, for example, if you are in the corporate world, you're not supposed to wear sandals. You're not supposed to wear open toe. When you are wearing shoes, it's more serious. It's part of your whole image. So everything completes each other. I was talking about the scarf, the brooch, whatever. As females, you can introduce things. I introduced this on purpose. I could put a scarf, I could put a brooch, I could wear my black, but you have an environment of a university, not students of etiquette. So if you see my picture at Euro Protocol School, you will see me in very stiff, structured suits. So you can adjust, but you keep some standard.
The maximum size of the heel?
It depends on the heel. Definitely pointed and very high is not recommended for the office. You have standards of 6, which is the maximum recommended. Yesterday when I landed at night, I came by Emirates, but I was seeing another Middle East Airlines coming through. I could see skirts up till here with very high heels. I could see skirts under the knee and with almost not flats, like 4 centimeters. So if I was to be on Middle East Airlines, I will look at these 2 ladies, I will immediately take my first impression, who is more professional than the other one. Okay? Keep this in mind. We keep heels for events. We keep heels if we are really very petite. We keep heels if we can wear heels. I'm not with very high pointed in the office. You have the square ones, Taida boots, hada lebis shoes. It's winter, all of us are wearing boots because it was raining. So you can understand, millet who will standards in Rabah. Questions? So let's wrap it. In your notes, okay. In travel, you don't have to be looking professional, but again, we go back to the casual, smart casual. So we see people wearing jogging suits when they travel. Maybe what I do when I go to Canada, for example, I'm a Canadian, so I go to Canada, and it's like from Dubai 14 hours, not like Dubai. I take my jogging suit with me in the carry-on. So I don't wear it from the very beginning. Usually you have to wear, and this is in my travel etiquette book, You have to wear comfy clothes. You have to wear clothes which don't attract the attention of security alarms zin كل الوقت when you are passing through. You have to wear scarves because the temperature changes. So scarf is the best accessory you can have. Instead of this, you go for a scarf. If you're feeling a little bit cold, you can put it here. If you're feeling, much more, you can wrap yourself. But assumingly that you're not a model, I'm not a model, and Juicy Couture is the best line of trousers. But you know that the fabric of Juicy Couture is very transparent. And I'm on a flight and I want to put my carry-on upstairs. Do you think I want anybody to see my cellulite? No. I'm just saying cellulite, nothing else. So it depends on you. We see it all the time, and the way received on the other side is like, oof, Why do they need to see it? Why do you want to show it? So if you are on a long flight, yes, you can have a jogging suit, but professional, wear nice leggings, cotton, jacket, scarves, etc., and pass. And believe me, the way you dress up, I'm not telling you to dress up formally, no. I always wear black and some different colors of jackets, and I'm always wearing scarves. The way the security people see you is a very major, factor in تفتيش ولا pass. I hardly have people stopping me because I look simple. But if you see people wearing pointed shoes, too many things, or behaving in a strange way, first thing they will do is تفضل عليهم.
Can you tell us a bit about the emailing etiquette?
Email etiquette. As I said in the beginning, email is like now you're doing in the social media. You have screens. You are talking to people from screens. So the way you are sending and people are receiving, the way they receive is the way they will feel that you meant. You might not mean that you are shouting on me or shouting out of this email, but when you write me an email in capital letters, it means you are shouting out. We had this in Bank of Beirut, and we had to send a memo to managers who come from French schools and not into lots of, say, business etiquette things, or old schools, let's say. And I used to receive email, "Dear Balsam, this client will come to you. Please assist. Regards." First of all, who are you? We are on Outlook, so I see S. Azab. Who is S. Azab? Which branch? And why are you shouting out from the email? Why I'm supposed to help you in Dubai? And why don't you do your homework? Send me the paper, and I will call your client, and he just, we are making an effort to help you out. So if you are asking in an email a favor, you better write it in a proper way. Dear Balsam, like we communicated, me and Mr. Abdullah communicated to arrange this beautiful seminar. We know each other since years and years. I've been very close to LAU. Yet when it comes to business, we don't cross the border. Thank you. صح? So it's still dear Mr. Abdullah or dear Mr. Al-Khar or dear Abdullah. But I won't send an email. There is a difference between sending a message, an email, and a WhatsApp. And here, coming to the WhatsApp, which became very popular, please, 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 anybody in this room, don't do business on WhatsApp. Any business should be kept documented by emails. And anybody who bothers you after working hours and he doesn't have an urgent means death, means la samahallah, big issues, don't even answer. Let them learn. When I initially joined Bank of Beirut, they used to call me on Fridays and Ramadan iftar time. So in Dubai, we entertain a lot, We invite people during Ramadan and we go to iftars. How bad it is when you have people, you are breaking your fast, and then you have somebody who's telling you, ليك الزبون عندي شو بعمل فيه? Or this client has a maturity after 2 days. Is this too urgent to call? No. You can send an email, and the first thing I'll do the second morning is to attend to it. Or somebody who wants to send you documents such as passport copies. I used to get lots of passport copies on my mobile till my mobile told me enough. ما في data خلاص ولا media ولا. You cannot send a photo, you cannot receive a photo. Teach them, sir, sorry, I cannot receive it here. My email is so and so, email it. And same applies when you are negotiating something. What happens is that you don't have the conversation. So if this guy will tell you one day, Balsam, you did not tell me that this is capital guaranteed, I go back to the email. But WhatsApp, usually we delete the conversation, right? So you don't have your proof. Sir, you wanted to say something? When you're working, you have to check it all the time. If you have a client with you, of course you have your terminal, and if you have a client with you, you do your thing. When you have a client, you don't answer calls, or you answer calls, it brings me to the telephone manners, you answer calls briefly. Sir, Sabah al Khair, can I call you back because I'm in a meeting? Nobody will say no if you are nice and answering in a proper way. But, ألو لو سمحت تحكيني بعدين because مشغولة? No. في طريقة نحكي فيها. Monsieur.
Believe me, we're living in a very fast lane, as they say. And when you receive an SMS or a WhatsApp from your CEO or your GM and you don't answer it, even
I said decline. I said decline. No, I said decline. Now, just giving you an example of Bank of Beirut because I was, receiving lots of calls. And for example, iftar time, بحط conference. So what I meant is that when you teach people, as Madame Hone, yes, when I said we were talking about being conservative, when you educate people that this is not right, when you tell them I don't call you on a Sunday lunchtime, don't call me on a Friday lunchtime, or don't call me during iftar. This is the way. So, but the difference is the way you educate them. But and to tell them don't do whatever, I wrote a nice email saying, dear colleagues, dear Mr. Fulan, who is head of HR, please know, please circulate on my behalf to all exchange users that our working hours are from Gaza to Gaza. However, in case of emergency, please contact me. They used to call my staff members. Contact me, بس حطيت urgent, هون حطيتها capital letter, and in bold, and in red. Believe me, they stopped calling me. But you educate them. Thank you for your cooperation. I count on your cooperation. Wishing you all a happy weekend. Bye-bye. Go to your weekend. No calls on Friday. لأنه maybe they don't know. We come back to the first conversation that it's okay not to know, but it's not okay to know and do it wrongly. Okay?
عندي سؤال عن نفس الموضوع اللي تفضلوا حكيه انه العالم عم بيمشي بسرعه وصارت هلا التنافس اوقات بمين بيجاوب اسرع، ما عم بحكي عن البنك اندستري بس باندستريز تانيين يعني، وعم نشوف التغيير كثير يعني. حتى الدكتورز كان بحد بجيبته 2 سيلولر، قبل كان ينطر للسكرتير حتى ترد وحتى يعطي المسج. عندي هون السؤال يعني كمان بيتوقف على نوع الاندستري، قد ايه هو بحاجه انه يجاوب بسرعه او ما يجاوب بسرعه. وسؤال ثاني اللي عندي اياه عن الاولد جنريشن، they are not familiar with emails، يعني كثير بفضلوا انه SMS او واتساب اوقات انه يمكن دغري بتجيهم اذا بدهم يبعثوا صوره او اذا بدهم يبعثوا فيديوز او هيك شيء.
ما هيدي again you go by case by case. When we are talking about standards, we're talking about the business etiquette standards. We're talking about the proper way of doing business and conducting business, right? This is the way we do it. Yet, if we have exceptions, it means we deal with it case by case. Yani if I have a client who will say Yemeni, okay, and he can only reach me by SMS, I have to deal with him by SMS. Say if he's in a certain area which is not, even yesterday on Emirates Airlines, you have internet all the way through. Suddenly I was working and suddenly my internet was disconnected. So I asked and he said, we are passing by, here we are passing by whatever and the internet gets connection for security. I have to respect that. I won't shout on the SFS of Emirates to tell them, why, whatever, you should have it all the way. Okay? So it depends case by case. What we are here to talk about is how to achieve successful business and what are the proper standards. Again, adjustment, it's things are changing and it depends on what you do, it depends on the environment and up to you to accept or not. Sometimes you accept things. People in the sales world accept calls, they want to sell, they have targets. But this doesn't apply on a banker who asked me on a Friday afternoon, if I give you $1 million, what is the rate? I don't have the rate sheet with me. I'm not ready to open a conversation saying for what period, 3, 6, 9 months, etc. Say, sorry sir, I can answer you on Sunday because I can't remember the rates. Have a nice weekend. Sunday morning, which is our first working day in Dubai, I call that bonjour, hope you had a nice week and sorry بس لأنه ما حافظة rates, thank you very much, whatever, أي period, etc. So I won't be that rude and the guy will learn his lesson so he won't call me again on a weekend. Okay. Last question?
Please, I have 3 points, small points. What about the use of emoticons? The use of abbreviations.
Again, please.
The use of emoticons in WhatsApp or Skype.
Emojis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And abbreviations. And the last one, are there any rules or etiquette for how long we have to wait when we call someone or this thing?
When we call or you are in a meeting and when we send an email, you should not keep the person for so long. So even if you're busy, you write to apologies in a meeting, call you back, or you write an email, thank you for your email, which is well received, we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So don't leave your client for so long, okay? Now, when it comes to emojis and images and funny faces, not recommended at all in emails. We get so many emails, I personally get so many emails from people who I don't know. And they send me smiling faces. Mean enta to send me smiling faces. And do I know you have, I've seen you? La. So how can you do that? So the first impression I get, again we go to the first impression, and no man no serious. So I don't do business with this guy. You mean SMS?
No.
Email?
When you call.
Before you hang up.
How many rings?
Okay.
The right time to
Okay.
wait.
The standard rings are 3. You should pick up your phone within 3 rings. When I used to work for Citibank, we used to have something called service indicators. This is on the service indicators. So I was for this month, the officer of service indicators, I used to monitor you as my colleague without you knowing that I'm the chosen person for this month. So within 3 rings, you're supposed to answer, and this brings me to the telephone manners. Balsam, Citibank, can I help you? Or Citibank investment department, can I help you? You have to answer in a professional way. Now, if you are in a meeting and you want to make sure that you don't interrupt this meeting, you answer, or you make sure. We used to have D&D, which not everybody has. It gives a busy tone. So we used to put it on busy tone, but we used to have the ID caller back 20 years back then. we used to see the number who called us. So we used to call back, sir, ما تواخذني, I had a client. How can I help you? Wow. So again, so if you are in a meeting, you cannot say much. You better tell the client that you will attend to him when you are free. Because you don't want, and later you can explain to him, sorry sir, بس حتى ما أحكي أشياء confidential in front of him. Wow, I like this person. He takes care of my account very well. Okay?
What if the wife calls during the meeting?
I'm in a meeting. Call back. كلمتين.
You don't sleep at home.
This is a give and take. أنا important. I was warning you. أنا should hang up after the third one. But I should assume that you are.
Exactly. This applies on the mobile. Like for example, you're calling me on my mobile and you keep on ringing and ringing. What's the point? If you can pick up, it means that the phone is next to you. So within the third ring, if I don't answer, خلاص. But if you keep on ringing, it means either it's urgent or it's really top urgent. And if I don't answer, some people call you again. Some people send you an SMS. Some people send you a WhatsApp. If it's not top urgent, you shouldn't do that. لأنه بيقولوا what's wrong with this guy and they won't like to deal with you again. لا missed call هيدي اختصاص لبنان. They do it once and then you call them back. Third ring is the standard. Third ring should ring. So 1 2 3 and the fourth you hang up. Okay? مش إنه like exactly. Okay? Any more questions? Thank you. One more? Okay, stop.
Can you ask a question by email, or you should kindly send me, or can you send me this whatever?
ما فهمت عليكي. Can you?
Is it okay to ask a question by
You can, but when you are writing an email by SMS, it's always brief. When you are writing an email, you cannot just ask a question. Dear Mr. Flynn, again, hope this finds you well. Can you tell me blah, blah, blah. So it has to be with best regards, with signature, كامل, with SMS.
بدي بس أسألها. طلعت عادي.